We are live. Good evening. I am calling to order the January 22nd, 2025 special meeting of the West Contra Costa Unified School District School Board. The time is 7 o'clock. B2, welcome and meeting procedures. To access translation in Zoom, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. If you are here in the auditorium and you need translation, you may pick up a headset in the back corner or the front corner of the auditorium. In a few minutes, we will begin item B7, the public comment agenda item. Members of the public are invited to speak to the board on any matter that is not otherwise on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Please prepare for public comment now. If you're here in this auditorium and you'd like to make public comment, please fill out a public comment card and hand it in to Rosa over here on the side. If you're participating via Zoom, please raise your hand in the Zoom app prior to the beginning of the item on the agenda. If participating by phone, press *9. After your comment card has been turned in, the cards are placed in the order received, and we call on speakers one at a time, alternating between a public comment here in the auditorium and one on Zoom. Public comment generally lasts an hour. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes. In the meantime, moving on with the rest of our opening procedures. And there is closed session tonight, but it's at the end of the meeting. So if you're making public comment on closed session items, please wait until we get to closed session. Now we'll move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise if you are able or willing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For land, labor, and body acknowledgement. We recognize that we are presently on the lands of the Chochenyo, Muwekma, Karkin, Ohlone peoples, and acknowledge them as the first inhabitants of the land we currently occupy. Labor and body recognition acknowledgement. I acknowledge that the burden of environmental exploitation and the systemic of this country and its institutions. I remember that Black and brown people Okay, I think we're good. I remember that Black and brown people were born and died working this land against their will for generations. I also acknowledge the continued contribution of the labor of survivors over the centuries to today of all immigrant labor, including voluntary, involuntary, trafficked, forced, and undocumented peoples in the building of what we refer to as the United States. Author, Dr. Rochelle Rogers Ard. A5, West Contra Costa Unified School District Board Anti-Racism Statement. The West Contra Costa School District Board of Education is committed to the work of anti-racism, the conscious and active effort to identify, challenge, and correct racial inequities in the systems and institutions within. No. Hold for one moment. Should I keep going? Okay, let me start. The West Contra Costa District School Board of Education is committed to the work of anti-racism, the conscious and active effort to identify, challenge, and correct racial inequities in the systems and institutions within our schools and community. Racism, explicit or implicit, stands in direct conflict to the fundamental principles of WCC USD education. To carry WCC education into the future, we recognize that we must continually renew and reflect on the roots of racism and develop new ideas to meet the times. unjust ideas and policies and the racial inequity they produce have shaped us, our schools, and our society. We strive to uncover unconscious biases and practice anti-racism as individuals and board members. We challenge ourselves to persist through the discomfort necessary for growth and learning, to deepen our listening and our examination of racism and oppression, and to develop a strong understanding of how our personal experiences and feelings fit into a larger picture of continual oppression. Each member of our school board individually and collectively is responsible for creating and nurturing an anti-racist learning environment where each student and staff member and community partner is a respected and valued member of the WCCUSD community. We are uniquely positioned, and it is our responsibility to identify and dismantle racist ideas and inequitable policies in ourselves and across the district. Therefore, we commit to supporting anti-racist policies, programs, and practices for our children's education and well-being while building strong and inclusive school communities. We commit to holding each board member accountable towards these goals and moving the work of anti-racism forward. We also commit to holding West Contra Costa Unified School District staff, students, and community to living these standards of anti-racism in our schools. Board adopted March 20th, 2024. A6, roll call. Dr. Moses, would you please take roll?
Clerk Inyana.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez Hoy is absent. Trustee Hernandez.
Here.
President Reckler.
Evening, I'm present.
Trustee Smith Folds. Student Trustee Espinosa Jr.
Good evening, present.
And Student Trustee Wilson is absent. That completes the roll call.
Great, thank you very much. Now we're up to A7, public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak to the board on any matter that is not otherwise on the agenda, but is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Public comment will last approximately 1 hour. The time allotted to each speaker is 2 minutes. Should additional speakers remain at the conclusion of 1 hour, public comment may be extended. The time allotted per speaker beyond the first hour is generally 1 minute. Individuals wishing to speak, please submit a WCCUSD public comment card, or if participating by Zoom, individuals will need to raise their hand in the Zoom app prior to the beginning of this item on the agenda. If you are calling in by phone, press *9. Speaking time shall not be transferred from one person to another. There is no substitution of speakers. Speakers can also make public comments again for each discussion and action item on the agenda after staff presentations. The public will have 10 minutes per item and 1 minute per speaker. The same protocols recited above apply. The public comment period is a safe space where diverse viewpoints may be expressed civilly without interruption or intimidation. Please listen attentively to each speaker's comment and respect their time at the podium as if it were your own. Be open to different points of view if one is offered. Due to the Brown Act, board members cannot discuss items that are not on the agenda and do not usually respond to items presented in public comment. Is there any public comment? Yeah, no, come over here. You can use my mic.
Good evening. I'm Tanya Weller. I'm a volunteer at Coronado Elementary School. I volunteer in the 6th grade classroom exclusively, well, pretty much exclusively. I'm here to petition, I guess, the board to reconsider the removal of Cetha McCray, there's current, well, the former sub who's been there since December. Prior to that, the kids had a sub who was ill-suited for that class. the class was really in chaos. I found myself trying to maintain control while she did the instruction part of the class. Since Ms. McCray has come back, she's retired and then she came back in December. Since December, the classroom is just done a 180. There's an attitude of learning and respect and just good citizenship overall, basically. It's really different from what it was prior to December. There wasn't a whole lot of learning going on from September to December, and I know for a fact that the test scores have raised, and especially for one particular girl I'm thinking of. She was reading at a kindergarten level, and now she's at second grade, and this is just from December until now. The kids now have another sub in the class. She is a prep and art teacher. She's not familiar with the curriculum that the children have. She wasn't really prepared on her first day because she had not attended any transition days or whatever with Ms. McCray. I found myself schedule. Kids only do like at different times during the day, and since she's an art teacher, she spent most of the day with art projects. The math instruction that she did do was based on information that I had on the board in the back of the room, because I was helping some of the kids who are, that's why I'm still in the classroom, so that.
No. Every speaker that.
Who asked? Oh, you are.
So give your name to the superintendent.
That concludes public comment.
That concludes public comment. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who gave public comment. We're now up to item B, business items consent. Are there any consent items that need to be pulled for discussion? Seeing none, consent items are approved. And we are moving on. Oh. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm sorry, I skipped A8, agenda review and adoption. Is there anything on the agenda that board members would like to reorder, remove? Seeing none, the agenda is adopted as presented. Moving to B, consent items. Are there any consent items that any of the board would like to pull? Seeing none, consent items are approved as presented. Now we're moving to C. C1, superintendent search process. Meet with Leadership Associates search firm advisors to discuss the following: overview of search process, board, search firm protocols during the search, timeline for search, discussion of online survey, board recommendation regarding community and staff groups to participate in input sessions with Leadership Associates consultants, board input regarding desired qualities and characteristics of the new superintendent. Mr. Evans, you're Mr. Evans, is that correct? Welcome.
Mic, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2.
So we will make sure that they are promoted. And then do you want him to sit here with me? Okay, we'll get you a chair and you can sit right here. Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Nice meeting everybody.
Up is on. So you're gonna leave us?
Yes, so I'm going to turn it over to my colleague. And he is going to lead us. Jim, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see all of you. Yeah, I'll start and then Donald and Sandy will be joining at various stages. But I want to start with going over the general timeline with you, and then as we go through that timeline, we'll talk a little bit about some of the particular items on the timeline. I think it can save some time that way. So I'll start first of all by thanking you and for selecting us as the firm to help you find your next superintendent. We take that responsibility very seriously. We're committed to the success of the students and staff and community in West Contra Costa County, and we'll do our best work to make sure you find a good superintendent. We're a little bit, we had to make some adjustments in the timeline because of we took a little longer to approve the contract and stuff. So this is the board has approved the contract tonight, which we appreciate. Thank you. And what we'd like to do now is let me start with kind of what has to happen over the next few days and months. Tonight is our initial meeting with the board, and we know you have some other items on the agenda, and we want to be sensitive to the time frame. But we'd like to get as much done as possible tonight, and then whatever we can't, we can possibly get some time on the next regular board meeting or the meeting after that. But let me start with this meeting. We'd like to get your ideas about the timeline itself and whether that works. I would say that's the most important part of the meeting tonight, is to have the timeline in place so we all adjust our calendars. So let me start with that, and then Donald and Sandy will pick up on some of the other items. The first dates that we have to commit to are the online survey dates. You know, part of our process for engaging educational partners in the community, students, staff, parents, businesses, is to conduct an online survey. And we're thinking that that can run from February 17th to March 3rd. And if we need to extend it, we can. Last time that 2-week period seemed to work. Pardon me? Last time that 2-week period seemed to work pretty well. And I'm getting background noise. Did somebody ask me a question or something?
No, you're fine.
Okay, all right. So the online survey would run from February 17th to March 3rd. And during that same time frame, we would start our conversations with the board and community about qualities and characteristics they'd like to see in the next superintendent. That would be from February 23rd to 28th. And then we could add some extra time on if needed. Now, one request that we have in relation to those timelines is there are some groups that we're fairly confident that we will want to meet with, again, your teacher leadership, your classified, your parent leaders and everything. And if we can get started with those even sooner and get those scheduled either by Zoom or in person, we'd love to do that. I mean, we are ready to go. So if we can work with Rosa, and last time there was a communications person that was helping us, and I assume there's somebody in that comparable role now, but we could start that process even sooner and start scheduling some meetings either in person or by Zoom. Zoom seemed to work pretty well a lot last time because people found it easier and more convenient to get to the meeting and everything like that. So as much as we can do that way, we think would be a good idea. So we would get started on that as soon as possible, but we will allow some in-person time in February, in February the 17th to the 21st, and then see where we go after that. I think we mentioned when we did our proposal originally, we don't want to leave anybody out. So even if somebody misses the first period or the February 7th period and wants to talk to us, we'll be able to do that. And that goes right up to even when we start the interviews, somebody will call at the last minute and say, hey, I think you should ask the superintendent this question. We're there to listen to that and take down the information. So that's when we would do the community engagement. And then on the position description, after we get the results of the survey and the community engagement meetings, then we develop a draft of the position description. And the position description, then we assume that the board would want to approve that. It's helpful sometimes to have a board committee of 1 or 2 people that can review a draft beforehand, and it can save a little bit of time. But it's important, I think, particularly in West Contra, that becomes something the community can see as well, that they see that their ideas and suggestions were captured by us. But that position description is a real critical document. It's one we send to all the candidates. We base our initial interviews with the candidates on that position description, how well they meet it and all that. So we are thinking that sometime in Donald, do you have that date on the position description?
I don't have that date in front of me for the
Okay,
position description.
At March
I think here it is. The position description would be on March 12th. We would approve the position description at that regular board meeting. So that's a key point. That gives us about, what, 5-6 weeks to get through the engagement, get the survey done, talk to people and all that. And then on March 12th, we would have the position description ready for you to review and approve. And hopefully we can have 1 or 2 board members to help review a draft of that. And then once that's and during that same time frame is when we start to advertise, both with the Association of California School Administrators and the American Association of School Administrators, EdJoin, and other sources as appropriate. We'll reach a lot of people that way, plus our own subscriber base. So we'll be advertising in the first couple of weeks of March. And the deadline for applications would be set at March 24th. That's when we expect to have the applications in. And then we start the process of doing our reference checks through most of March. And that's a time-consuming process, but it's also one of the most important parts of the process is to do the necessary background checking. So in April then, on April 23rd, this is another key date, we would meet with the board to go over the candidates that applied. We share the names of all the candidates that applied. We rank the candidates, but it's your decision. You review you review the paperwork that we reviewed. You hear the results of our references, and then the board makes a decision on which candidates it wants to invite for an interview. And we're suggesting that the interviews be held on May 17th and 18th. And that's allow 2 days for the process. As I recall, it took us a good 2 days last time to go through that, and it's an important time. We don't want to rush it. So, and then after the interviews, the board may determine whether a site visit to the finalist is necessary. Sometimes that can be done virtually. Sometimes the board chooses not to do that, but that will be your decision, and we do allow a little time for that. And we're looking at about May 28th or June 11th to approve the contract for the next superintendent. So sometime in that time period, we would have, that has to be done at a regular board meeting, as I recall. And I think those are regular board meeting dates. So we would shoot for the 28th. The backup would be June 11th to have the contract approved. And the starting date for the new superintendent would be July 1st. So the key parts to all this in the timeline are, one, getting the board's input on qualities and characteristics for the new superintendent. If we have time to start that tonight, we will. If we don't, we'll do it at the soonest possible time we can get together with you. But we need to hear from you on what you individually, what you're looking for, what's important to the board. We need to have the online survey up and running. Last time, I think I've mentioned this before, there were 5,000 responses to that survey, which is the largest we've ever had in any school district. And that one of the reasons is the communications office and the principals and the teacher leaders did a really good job of making sure that almost any meeting that was held, there were copies of the survey ready, there were computers available, and people could fill out the survey. So we're hoping for a repetition of that. It's a great way to engage a large number for educational partners. So, and then using the results of the survey and the Zoom meetings we had with different groups, we'll need to work with the board president and probably Rosa to go over the groups that you want to identify. We have the ones from last time, but there are probably some new ones, and we'll need to get that list, and that's where we really need the help of your staff to send out the notices to those people and help schedule the meetings, whether they're on Zoom or in person. And then we'll have the board approve the position description. That's a key part of the process, and I mentioned that we're looking at March 12th for that. Then we do our reference checks. And then we're suggesting those meeting dates for the board to review the candidate applications on in May 17th and 18th. Set aside 2 days for that. What may only need a day, we'll see. And then around May 19th to 23rd, no, excuse me, May 17th and 18th for the interviews. April 23rd is the meeting where we review the applicants. So excuse me on that. April 23rd, we review the applicants, May 17th and 18th for the interviews. That's what we're proposing. And I want to see if that works for you. That's our first item.
Jim, if I may interject, when you mentioned that we need support from the West Contra Costa staff to schedule all of input meetings, I think it's important to also mention that Penny Pyle from our team will be working really closely with Rosa and your communication to make that a smooth and easy process. So that way it's not just, a heavy responsibility on your staff's end, but it's a coordination with Penny and Rosa and whoever else you have. I think your communication staff we have templates and a lot of support that we provide.
So I just want to go back over those dates one more time, because I know we gave you a lot of dates. Are there any questions on all those dates that we gave you? Yes.
I don't know if the microphone's on. It's on? Okay. One, you are asking to do a survey the February 23rd to February 28th. That part, we have President's Week starting on, I'm sorry, you wanted to do the survey
February
February
17th
17th to March 3rd.
Yeah, what would work best for you?
Well, I just want us to be aware that we have President's Week starting on February the 17th, and the school is going to be out for a week, right? So I don't know if that impacts how you disseminate the survey, but it cuts it down from 11 days to have the survey open to 6 days because you lose 5 days of school.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. So what do you think would work better, Trustee Smithfold?
I don't have an opinion. I don't know if you move it up or you move it after President's Week. I don't know if you push it further into March, but I just wanted to make sure that you were aware that we do have that week. There's a week that our children will not be here inside the school system. That means that there probably won't be any SSC meetings, or there won't be any PTA meetings, or there won't be any
Gotcha.
ways that we
Okay.
push that survey out. So looking at aligning it with the school calendar would be probably the most beneficial. My second question is, how many languages are you having the survey in?
Well, I'm trying to remember what we did last time. I think we certainly had it available in Spanish, and we had it available in one other in Asian. I think there was a Chinese version, if I remember, but I'd be off on that. We would do what we did last time, and unless there's something we miss and we want to. Is there a particular population that you want us to reach out to?
We can check, but I would say that the third would either be Arabic or Portuguese.
Okay.
And I think if you look at our specific data in our district on the top 5 languages that you see in the district, I would definitely would like you to hit, at least the top 5 languages that are present in our district.
Okay.
So we have those numbers, I'm sure, in the communications department.
Great.
Okay. And if needed, is there someone that might assist with translation or review a translation in those languages? Do you have?
I'm looking at the superintendent.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, we can reach out to our RAP Center, who helps with securing translators in order to
Okay.
take care of that for you.
We would, no, okay, so that, we appreciate that very much. That would be helpful. So if you can kind of be thinking of those, I don't know we had the 2 or the 3, but the other 2 we want to be sure to get, and we can get you the survey and they can start to work on that. If we extended that period on both sides a little bit, maybe started around the 14th or 13th and went to the 5th or something like that, would that be a closer alignment for you and would work? I'm just throwing that out as a possibility.
If I may, my recommendation would be to start surveying earlier in February if we can.
We can,
Okay, so, maybe, because where are we at the 22nd? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it could launch on the 10th, so we have a week when school
Sure.
is still in session or something like that.
we could do that. Sandy, Donald, does that work
Yeah,
from your perspective?
Works.
I think that,
Okay, because Trustee Smith Folds is absolutely correct. When school is closed,
Yeah,
people they're not responsive.
yeah, okay. We get that. We should have picked that up, but we can do that.
So
We'll start on the 10th and go to the 3rd then. If people want to do it over the break, they can. But if we run it that period of time, will that work for you all? Okay, all right, good.
We will move to get there.
Okay.
So I have
And
confirmed February the 10th to March the 3rd. That we will have the survey available for our parents. And we will look at the top 5 languages, and we have Spanish, Arabic, and Portuguese, and we'll just find out the other 2. Okay.
All right. President Reckler, if I can say something. So this is giving our community at least 4 weeks, correct? To take this survey.
pretty
Am
close, yeah.
Okay, Okay.
3 weeks for sure. And as I said, if there's a need to extend it a couple of days, we can do that. I think we did that last time. We want to be sure we reach as many people as possible. And we don't want to, to have, we'll set the dates, and if we need to extend, we can.
yeah, I just want to make sure that we give the community enough time to engage with the survey.
Okay,
So I agree with what President Reckler and Trustee Jamila Smith-Folds said in regards to the break. I just want to be sure that we at least give all community members and stakeholders enough time to go in there and complete their survey. So 3 to 4 weeks, roughly a timeline of giving the community a month will be, that's my opinion, will be great.
okay. We'll get as close to that as we can. Okay.
So are there any other questions in terms of the dates?
One other date I just wanted to clarify is, what was your start time for group interviews, either in person or on Zoom?
We, the formal dates that we have, but we've been talking about that since we listed these, is we would start on February 17th to the 21st were the dates that we set aside, and then would extend as needed. But we got to thinking that there isn't any reason that we can't start with some groups sooner than that. And what we're proposing is that if there's groups that we can readily identify, I would say maybe starting 2 weeks from now or something like that, by Zoom, we would like to do that. That we can
Okay,
reach, we
because
think,
once again, to start on the 17th, that's our dead week.
Okay.
So once again, it's our dead week, where
Okay.
schools are closed.
Okay. So we-
So if we could move that up and if people are ready to go, you know, I would start immediately. I'm sure people have stuff to say if we can coordinate immediately, so.
Okay, so the preference, are you okay with us if we can start earlier or I think earlier would be the preference and we can arrange our calendars and we can do a combination of Zoom and in-person meetings that's helpful. So we can put, usually we have 3 to 5 days time frame. I know that we'll want to have some town hall meetings. Last time, I think we had 2 or 3. We had one on a Saturday. It was your last time, the time before that worked really well. We had a good turnout for that. So we'll make an adjustment in this to move it up a little bit, or maybe add a day or two on the other end so that we get everybody, and we're not in the spring break week.
I do have a question. When you're looking at the surveys, you said last time you got about 5,000 surveys. What's your threshold for success this time? Are you looking to ensure that you get at least 5,000 responses? Are you disaggregating those responses from students and teachers versus community members versus parents? How are you looking at your survey and ensuring that you're getting a cross-section of all those who are touched by the education system?
Well, one of the neat things is as the surveys are taken, we have access to that data. We don't have to wait till the end to see. So we want what I would call, I don't want to pick a specific number, but a reasonable number of participants from the student group is one of the most difficult to reach in surveys, and we would need the help probably of your student leaders to do that. The principals are key to this, that they have their parent meetings at their schools. Whenever they have a meeting, the surveys are there. Take some time out to do that. And that's true district-wide. Anytime there's a gathering, somebody's there with a survey. Your communications department last time, I mean, they are the ones that are really credited with the success for this because they really worked this. We want to be sure we hear from a representative group. 5,000 would be great if we could hit that again, because we haven't even come close to that anywhere else. So if we could hit that mark, that would be great, but it's going to take a lot of teamwork effort between your staff and us to get that done.
Typically, 1,000 responses is really, really terrific. So 5,000 is far beyond what we've seen. And because we're going to run it longer, and as Jim mentioned, we'll know week by week what percentage of the respondents are coming from parents, from classifieds, from certificated, from community members, et cetera. Then we can work with your people to send out another blast. If we're not having as many respondents from parents, or we're not having as many from whichever demographic, then there can be special push out of notification to those folks so we can ensure that there's a balance of input.
One more layer to that is we're in areas. So make sure that you're not just hearing from area 1 or 5. Make sure that you're hearing from 2 and 3 and 4, because the numbers can be deceptive, right? 5,000 people from one area doesn't give you the representation or the input that you need, because we are 5 cities and incorporated areas. So another data point would be to ensure that you're hearing from a cross-section of all of our communities and all of our areas, because again, we're 5 cities and a lot of incorporated areas. I'm complete.
Thank you, Trustee Smith.
Yeah,
Clerk
yeah,
Indiana,
good
do you have
reminder.
anything?
Thank you.
Nothing? Trustee Espen, nothing? Nothing on getting to students?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
Yep, yeah, you can expect a phone call though, because we need help, and see if you can be talking to some of your colleagues about how we might increase the student participation in this at each school. Maybe somebody at each school, particularly the high schools and the middle schools, could take some responsibility for making sure that there's a representative group of students at each school, and we need your help in organizing that. So put that, there's a to-do list for you.
Well, one thing, now that you bring it up and I have a little more thought to it, is, you can contact every ASB teacher,
Yes.
student site council teacher to go to each of these students, every class president, and be like, hey, we need all these things. Like, this is important. This is so that way we can like ensure like the efficiency of our district is going on.
Good point.
As well as we can work with all student congress very closely with in terms of getting it out there more, so that way we can maybe look over it alongside with you guys as students,
Okay, super.
with our incoming student trustees as well.
Okay,
what are the
great. And
things
did
that
you
we-
say all student Congress? Did you use that?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, that's a newbie to me, so that sounds like a great group that we really want to get involved with this. So thanks for bringing that up.
Of course.
All right. And board members, are those dates for the, where you look at all the candidates and the interviews? Because those those get published, and we want to make sure those are okay with you. So,
Yeah, if I may, first, if I can go to trustee Hernandez, do you have anything else?
I was gonna ask, are we able to provide the community an update when it comes to the survey? How many surveys we received in the month or in that week, in order to push out more awareness and community engagement, just giving folks like, I totally agree with trustee Jamila Smith Folds, making sure that we are getting surveys across the whole district and all the cities, not just from one area and another. And I think for transparency reasons, we want to make sure that the community is aware of this is how many surveys we received this week. Let's push
Yeah.
for more, just encouraging our stakeholders and our students and our the folks in the city to make sure that they are their voices are being heard.
yeah, that's an excellent point, and we will do that. We would, but we really need the support and assistance of some of your key staff members on that. Superintendent Moses, who will be in the communications department that we'll be working with? Do you know will be the point person? Because we'll want to make contact with that person, and maybe we could meet with both of you or talk to both, however you want to do it.
Absolutely. That's going to be Director Rachelle Forrest, and we're happy to meet whenever you're ready to get started.
Director.
Director Rachelle Forrest.
Forrest.
She's the director of our communications department.
Okay, so we can send her, call her and stuff and schedule a meeting, maybe with one or two of us and both of you. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Okay, so we've been through all the surveying and the online surveying. We've got that kind of cemented. We got a plan there. I would like to move to my recollection from last time is that there was at least one meeting where about 25 applicants were brought forward, and we went through a preliminary process where we picked like 5 from 20 or something like that. Is
Yes.
that,
That's the April 23rd meeting.
that's April 23rd, okay.
And we bring the application.
And that's about 5 to 6 hours that we need to set aside for that.
And my recollection is that that was a closed session.
Yes, it's a closed session.
Okay, so that
As
is,
we tell the candidates, their names are being kept confidential. It really affects the quality of the pool if some people start to get very nervous. Boards get nervous if their superintendents are looking, and then everybody gets nervous, and this is not a good thing. So,
okay, so April 23rd it's a Wednesday, so that was right. So then there was like a narrowing down process.
yeah,
And then we come back May 17th and 18th
for the interviews.
are the interviews. That also was a closed
Yes,
session. All right, I'm trying to just refresh my memory and look at the calendar at the same time. Okay, so that's a full weekend, basically. Okay,
yes, full weekend is right. Yep.
okay. Does anybody have anything on those particular dates? Okay. Then site visits or other if necessary, that would be May 28th.
Right.
Okay,
Around May 28th, yeah, that, now, if we can do a site, if you want to do a site visit, your board usually makes its decision, I mean, once they select their finalists, we could approve the contract on May 28th. Or we can allow a little time more and approve the contract on June 11th.
okay, so May 28th is a board meeting, so.
I think
unless-
so,
Okay, so we will not be doing site visits on May 28th unless
right,
this candidate is like in Berkeley or something, but,
yeah.
you know, but no. Okay, and then you're looking at June 11th.
Yeah.
Okay.
If, you know, the interviews are May 17th and 18th. So conceivably, there's a week there where you might, if you need to do a site visit before the May 28th meeting, there's a 10-day period in there that between the 18th and the 28th, that you could conceivably do a site visit and have the contract settled. But, you know, we always want to have a little flexibility just in case, you never know. Okay.
Got it. Okay,
So I have somewhere between the 19th and the 23rd for a validation visit.
Yeah,
19 to 20. Okay, just as long as it's not on the 18th.
right.
Okay. Okay, anything else on dates from anybody?
I would like you to be aware that our graduation season starts in May. So our graduation season starts at the end of May. So it's push, push, push after that. So I would like you to have a copy of the graduation schedule. So you know, because board members typically go to graduations. So that may impact some of the things that you may have to do. And we end school on June 11th. That's the other thing. Just want to let you know that that date is our last day of school. So whatever you need to backwards plan from that. I think our first graduation is middle college. So that's typically the first one, and they usually graduate the end of May.
Well, we should be okay then with this timeline. But we'll keep, that's an important point to keep in mind. We don't want to just move dates out casually then, because after that point, the people are pretty heavily booked. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What Donald is going to pick up the next part of this. So Donald, I'll turn to you.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
we're actually sharing a microphone here. Okay, that works? Okay. So what I needed to know is there a liaison person that I can or we can work with, or a spokesperson for the board who's going to speak on behalf of the board. So that will be you. Okay.
Usually it's the board president.
Yes.
And that includes communications, not just with us, but the point person, but sometimes the press calls. And it's a little bit, you know, to the extent it's possible that the communications regarding the search from the board's perspective come through the board president.
So I'm just typing all this down, this information. So just give me a second. Okay, great. Thank you for that. So I just want to confirm that the executive assistant has received all the guidelines, the templates, and great. And so you're good to go, Rosa. And so we have Penny, who will be our person or point person who will be working exactly with, be working closely with you in terms of getting you everything that you need, setting up the agendas, everything, communications and so forth like that. All right. The other piece that you had mentioned, Rochelle, Rochelle is the person that we would be in contact with in terms of helping us with the community input sessions. Did you say superintendent? Yes. Okay.
Yes. Forrest, Communications Director Forrest.
Okay. We got that down here. Okay, and I just want to confirm that all the email addresses that I have that are on the webpage are the correct email addresses and phone numbers in case we have to contact anyone.
And we can spend a few minutes after making sure you have everything that you need.
Okay, great.
Let me, if I could ask something real quick. it's important that we provide regular updates to the board throughout this process. That's part. Is that communication to all board members, or is it to the board president who then circulates to board? And boards do that differently. That's why I'm asking.
You may contact everybody as long as it's blind, BCC, so we're not in violation of the Brown Act in a reply all.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah, don't reply. The reply to the board president. Well, not even that, just because you don't want to do anything that creates a problem in that area. But when we have an update, we will send it to the all the board members.
Yes, you may do that.
And if there once in a while there's a process question, something comes up, then we would talk to the board president about that. And if but that's relatively rare. Okay. Okay.
So I want to go over the, how we're going to have the education partners and how we're going to engage the community. And so I'm actually going to turn it over to Sandy for this part right here.
Thank you, Donald. So we have the schedule that we used previously. That's pretty extensive. It has a lengthy list, multiple pages of all of the education partners or the interest holders from throughout your community. But we want to make sure that we're not just going to use that same list. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity to be able to delete any organizations that may no longer be relevant, and add any organizations that are new to the community. Anybody that you want to make sure that we engage with. So that schedule, I believe, Donald, do they have the schedule in hand?
Yes, I just passed it out to everyone.
Thank you so much, Donald.
Mhm.
And as Jim mentioned, we'd like to get a jump on it. We are scheduled to start all of those input sessions February 17th, but we're more than happy to start earlier than that with those organizations that that are the typical, the employee association leaders and parent leaders and such. So we'll need to coordinate with you to make sure that that list is updated.
If I may, just for a second, Trustee Hernandez, we were given paper copies. We have a paper copy for you. Do you by any chance have an online version or a copy we can send to her quickly? If not, we'll just read these out loud as we go. Trustee Hernandez, if you think of anything, you can just, contact us and give us the name. If not, tonight is not the final for who we're contacting, so do not have any concerns. Sorry. Go ahead.
So one of the things I wanted to do is just go down this list and see if all of these organizations, folks, people, community members are the folks that you want us to talk to. And there might be some new ones, and there might be some ones that you want to take off. So I just wanted to quickly go through some of these, if you don't mind, because it's important that we get everybody. Do we still have charter school representatives, a group that we can meet with, or do we still want to talk to them? I see you smiling, but
We don't have any current ongoing meetings with them. We meet with our charter representatives as needed.
okay.
And for specific purposes, but should you want to create a group, I'm sure we could reach out through our charter oversight coordinator to make that happen.
Okay. What about the faith community rep or the NAACP? Let's keep them. AASAT and Black educators? Bayside
You
Council,
Separate it.
we separated them?
You should separate. Asset
Yeah.
is the African American Student
Site advisory.
Site Advisory Council. That's different than Black educators. And
Separate.
then you should also, if you're including Asset, Asset is a representative of the APACs. So APAC is different because APAC has all the parents from a particular school, Black parents from a particular school. Asset has the representative of those parents, which may be 2 people. So if you want to broaden your scope here, it should be ASAT, APACs, and then Black educators.
Okay, got all 3 of them. Is it ASAC or
ASAT.
ASAT?
ASAT.
Okay, okay.
That's right. It's
Mhm,
correct.
okay. Bayside Council of PTAs? Okay. DL Cap? English and Spanish. Okay. Community Partners 5, which is the Community Housing Development, Construction, and Building Trades Council and Industries. We still want to talk to them.
So we can certainly reach out to construction and building trades and Council of Industries, community housing development. I'm not familiar myself. Anybody? We'll have to do a check. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Can you guys confirm if you guys are in contact with Contra Costa Workforce Development and Richmond Workforce Development? Can we include those in the list as well to get in contact with them?
Contra Costa
Workforce Development Board and Richmond Workforce Development Board.
Contra Costa Workforce and Development, or can you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Contra Costa Workforce Development Board and Richmond Workforce Development Board.
And Richmond.
Oh, I have an idea. I can take a picture.
Got it.
We also have an anti-racism advisory group.
Okay. What about Richmond Revolution? Safe Return, Stand Together, Contra Costa, Yes, Nature to the Neighborhood, YMCA, are all these groups okay?
So does Richmond Revolution still exist?
I believe they might have changed their name to Reimagine Richmond.
Reimagine Richmond? Okay.
Yeah. And then, do we have APEN on the list? Sorry, I don't have the list. with me. The Asian Pacific Environmental Network.
Okay, say that one more time.
APEN, so the Asian Pacific Environmental Network.
Okay.
And then do we have the Black Parent Resource Center? Also,
Okay. What about Peach?
They are no longer,
Okay.
but I would suggest putting down the Systems Change Collaborative,
Yeah, community schools, yeah.
Systems
Change
Uh-huh.
Collaborative.
Collaborative, okay. Okay.
We are also actively trying to bridge the relationship between our cities and our district. So I would reach out to the city council, city mayors, the city managers.
And so that would be Richmond.
Richmond, Hercules, Pinole,
Mhm.
San
Richmond,
Pablo.
Hercules, Pinole, El Cerrito,
San Pablo.
San Pablo, and who am I missing? There's 5 cities. Richmond, El Cerrito, Hercules, Pinole,
San Pablo.
and San Pablo. That's
got it.
5. You want me to do it again?
I got
Richmond?
Hercules, El Cerrito, San Pablo, Richmond, Pinole.
Yeah, that's 5. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
No worries.
Okay. What about the CTE task force? Is that still,
Does that still exist?
I haven't heard of there being an active meeting of that title, but I could check.
okay?
We can check.
I'm pretty sure you have, something similar to that. What about Ed Fund and
Yes.
philanthropic funders, such as Chevron,
Yes.
Chamberlain? All these are still good?
Connected Nation, I don't know about, and Silver Giving, I don't know about.
So Connected,
Nation and Silver Giving, I'm not sure, but we can find out.
I would add Phillips 76 to that too.
Phillips, 70. 76.
There's also Cowan,
What's the other one? Cowen,
and there's,
COWEN.
and there's Hellman. But Hellman is, expiring in 2 years, I heard.
Is it HELL?
MAN.
Okay, got it. Or any other philanthropic funders that you want us to reach out to? So I have Phillips 76, Cohen, and Hellman.
Cowan, I'm sorry, COWAN.
Oh, COW,
I think it's COWAN.
COWAN,
Yeah.
okay.
See, I think it's Cowell,
Oh,
COWELL.
Cowell, COWELL, sorry, COWELL.
EELL, okay. Got it, okay, Cowell, okay. All right, let me move on. Citizens Bond Oversight Committee,
Yes.
okay.
Can we,
Oversight for the parcel tax, both of those,
So the parcel tax, not currently in operation, but if it is, you will know it.
okay. So let me check that one. All right, check on this.
can we, can we add RCF, the Richmond Community Foundation?
Oh, yeah.
I don't,
Do you want me to add that to the
There's some,
education fund and the philanthropic funders to that group?
I saw them under community partner.
are they under community partners? Sorry, I don't think I seen them.
Okay,
And the community group, could we add, the Richmond neighborhood, coordinating
and neighborhood
council, the RNCC?
council. Okay, got it. All right. And then Teamsters Local 856, Adult School Teachers United. What is CSO one?
That's our
Safety.
site supervisors.
Yeah.
Oh, site supervisor. Okay,
Right.
got it. Definitely want to talk to those guys. Okay. And VACR,
Yes.
okay. And then SSA, what is
Yes.
SSA?
That's one of our
You,
unions.
one of our unions.
Okay. And Ross is another union?
They are not a union. They're a representative, right? They're a,
That is the Richmond Association of School Administrators.
Okay,
Their professional group.
right. We definitely want to talk to them as well.
And I would also add, and I don't know, they may be on here, Fierce Advocates,
yeah,
but now they used to be Building Blocks, now they're Fierce Advocates.
Yeah. They had a name change.
Fierce advocates. Okay.
We have 3 different community partner events. That's why you have a book of that particular group.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the community partners, so I'm just gonna I know, the reason why I'm saying them out loud is because I know one of the board members does not have this in front of her. East Bay Center Performing Arts, First Five Contra Costa, Rise Center, and the Girls Inc.
And I think Girls Inc. changed their name, but yes, same person. I think they went through a name change,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
it's the same person.
All right. And then, Community Partners 3. I'm not even gonna mess this up. Concilio Latino Familia
Concilio
Just-
Latino.
and Latino Center, Metis Youth Enrichment, Catholic Charities, are all those okay?
Consiglio Latino. Are they still? They're still around? All right, we'll check on Concilio Latino.
Okay,
Familia Unidas, yes.
go
Lati-
pub, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, what about Metas Youth Enrichment? They are.
Okay.
still? Okay, a couple of these we're gonna have to check for you, but we believe they're still.
Okay. What about go public, oh.
When you go back up to where you had NAACP,
Uh-huh,
we have Richmond and El Cerrito. So there's two
oh, yeah. I need to
active
know that.
NAACPs, Richmond and El Cerrito.
Richmond and, oh, Sarita, got it. All right. Go Public Schools, Seneca,
Yes,
okay, West Contra Costa Parents Council,
no, they're gone.
they're gone?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. PTA groups 1 and 2, Dianza Maltavin,
Montalvan.
Montalban.
Alindo,
Yeah.
Alinda?
Yeah.
El Cerrito, Fairmont,
Karatmatsu.
Karatmatsu,
Yep,
and Riverside, Shannon, Sheldon, Terra Hills, Ford Grant, Harding, Kensington, Madera, Mira Vista, is it Verde,
Mhm,
Washington, and Mandarin?
mhm,
Okay, is the PTA 3 group okay?
yes,
Pinole, Stewart, Ella Hurst,
mhm,
Hannah Ranch,
mhm.
Ella Horst,
Take Elahurst off, you have it twice.
take it off,
You
okay,
you have it twice, it's on your list.
okay.
Lupine.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll take that off. Okay, Lupon Collins, Obama and Alani, Aloni, and confidential employees,
yes,
okay. Contra Costa College,
yes,
Richmond Promise,
yes,
CAC.
yes,
Okay, public advocates.
yes.
What is that?
They
one?
are a law firm that does a lot of advocacy around education
Got it.
issues.
Okay,
Oh, and more, but we know them
Mhm.
through the education side of their work.
okay. MDAC co-chair.
That's MDAC. Before you go on,
MDAC.
you don't have Hercules as a PTA group.
Okay,
Hercules needs to be a PTA group.
1, 2, or 3.
It doesn't matter where you throw them in.
Okay, we'll put it right here.
But can you give us, or give me just a second to make sure that we have the schools covered in the PTAs?
I'm sure.
Okay,
And we
Um,
can always go back to.
okay.
Yeah, and we can look at this list. There may have been some changes. Units sometimes,
Mhm.
disband and new ones come on, so we can definitely connect you to get the.
Okay,
And you
great.
do need to add Pinole Middle. You have Pinole Valley, that's a high school. Pinole Middle is a middle school.
Pinole Valley.
Is the high school, and then
That's high.
Pinole Middle is the middle school.
Got it.
And just a side note, we do have different structures of education. So we have things like TK through 8, we have so there are different things.
Mhm.
So when you're looking at a K-8 or a TK through 8, I want to ensure that you're making sure that you're getting that section of the middle school because they have different needs than a middle school, traditional middle school, which is a 7-8 or a 6-7-8.
Okay.
So understanding the structure of how we do school
Mhm.
is very important to making sure that you're getting that cross-section of information from not only the surveys, but for these in-person interviews that you're having. If you have a room full of TK parents, you're gonna get a different outcome than a room full of 8th grade parents that
Absolutely.
have been in the system or understand what's going on. So getting both of their viewpoints is going to be very, very vital.
Good point.
I'm
Absolutely.
complete.
Thanks. So, I see the MDAC English, that's okay?
MDAC. Mhm.
MDAC,
Mhm.
what does that stand for?
Multilingual, that's our
District Advisory
multilingual
Committee.
group.
Okay,
There is something that I do need to add in this world, which is DLI or dual language immersion parents.
where do you want to put that one?
Um,
I'm gonna put it under public advocates, is that okay?
you put it on the other side, the MDAC co-chairs, it would be better with the
Okay, and you have a
DLI.
DLI parents, okay, got it.
And do you have LCAP on here anywhere?
You better.
Are you talking about LCAP? Are you talking about
That's the first
LCAP
one,
or the
LCAP's
PAC?
Oh, LCAP is under.
Oh, I see it, where it says English and LCAP.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, okay,
got
never
it.
mind, never
Thank you.
mind.
Okay. And I see we have all the elementary schools grouped together, the principals, and then there's group one and there's group two, so we got those covered. Middle and high school and adult school principals, we got all of those covered, and you can just check to make sure I have all of them down. Okay. And I know we have a s-
Vista.
Which
There we
one?
have it.
We
Okay,
have a
never mind,
virtual
never mind.
school.
Okay, in a virtual school?
Mhm.
Okay, is that a high school or just a?
Vista Virtual and
Okay.
Land Vista. So Vista Virtual is your TK through high school. And then Land Vista is 7 through 12.
Okay, wait a minute. Land,
Land Vista.
Land Vista.
It's not like the real name, but that's what it's like, Land Vista. So that's how we.
So-
That's
That's a virtual
one. We have Vista Virtual and then we have Land
So
Vista.
Vista Virtual,
Goes TK and they're
TK.
all virtual.
Okay,
So they're
TK.
all online. They go TK through high school.
okay,
And then Land Vista, they're a hybrid and they go 7th grade through 12th grade.
got it. Okay,
Same principal though, so same contact information.
okay. He got it. High school students, middle school students, I know high school students, we can talk to the ASB. Usually that's when you talk to ASB, but you mentioned another one too.
All the,
It's either-
Congress.
All
All
student
student
Congress.
Congress.
Okay, I'm gonna put that one down here.
And there's another one too that came to mind. I'm not sure if these are the only within our district, but there's also like youth commissions and youth councils based on cities. I know Richmond has a
Oh, that's right.
Richmond
Yes.
Youth Council and
Yes.
San Pablo has a youth commission.
Richmond and San Pablo.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Good.
That's right. I remember that.
Good.
Middle school students. And we can talk to the principals in terms of bringing all the kids together. So we can talk to them. So I see we have Healthy Richmond.
Oh, if I may,
that's
trustee Hernandez and trustee Nyana, Healthy Richmond became the Richmond.
Healthy Contra Costa.
Healthy.
Okay, so they became Healthy Contra.
Healthy Contra Costa. Okay, got it.
Thank you, ladies. Okay,
Council of Elders,
yes.
Bright Futures.
Is Bright Future?
Yes.
It's still,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Directors, district staff, cabinet, districts, directors, district staff group 2. I
Okay.
can figure out who they are. What's?
Freed.
Yeah, Freed.
They're not there anymore.
Okay, so we can cross
They're
that
not-
one
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Okay,
But I would like to add our supervisors, Chanel Scales Preston and John Joya. They work closely with the district too.
so there's supervisors.
They have a formal name, can't tell you what it is, but they're the county supervisor.
Yeah, they're county supervisors.
Okay.
There's 5. We overlap with two.
There's
Okay.
two. There's
Yeah,
just John
okay.
Joya and Chanel
Okay,
Scales Preston.
yeah, so we overlap 2 to serve our area.
Okay. In Rotary, in Pinot,
It's still there.
Hercules,
Yeah.
okay.
Can
What
we
about-
add Richmond, Richmond Rotary?
Richmond,
Okay.
yeah, and there's also a El Cerrito Rotary.
Okay, got both of it. So I have Pinot, Hercules, Richmond, and El Cerrito.
Yeah.
Cerrito.
Yes,
Okay. Hercules Education Foundation,
still there.
okay. Pinot for Fair,
Government, Pernod for Fair Government, still there.
oh, for Fair Government, okay.
Wave Watch, I'm not sure about. It kind of blended into Pinot for Fair Government, but if you hit Pinot for Fair Government, you should hit Wave Watch at the same time.
Okay.
But you could check into that one.
All right.
Public core gone.
Public Core is gone,
Gone.
okay. Okay. Ed Fund,
Yes,
Richmond Progressive Alliance,
yes.
okay. All right. And then we also have our community forums that we will offer our parents. They can come and talk to us. I think I have every one of the partners that we talked to last time we did this search. Is there anyone on here that's not on here that you want us to talk to?
Can we add New Life Movement as well?
Sure.
New Life Movement. Okay.
I also want to caution us to, when we do the Zoom links, 5 o'clock may be hard for some parents to get because they're still working. So typically we have our meetings post 6 o'clock,
Okay.
6:15, 6:30, just to ensure that soccer is over or that they're in a place where they can hear it and not be interrupted. Parents can hear the Zoom and not be interrupted. They may be at home, so watching those times, I think, would be good. And also, we are we're a talky district. 30 minutes is a short timeline, so just keeping that in mind too.
So you would possibly move that time from 5 to like 6? Like
Yeah,
6,
I would
okay.
start at 6:15.
6:15.
And remember that we try to consolidate groups sometimes too, like, if we can get the 2 supervisors together or the 3 representatives from the 3 Rotary clubs, we try to do that. So, okay.
We also let folks know that if they would like to email us with additional comments, if they don't want to share their thoughts in front of, other folks who might be on that Zoom, that they can email us directly. And we'd let everyone that we know that we're talking with, that we're the ambassadors for the board, that we're there at your direction to seek input from the entire community.
Great.
Okay, if I could do a time check and then we'll proceed on. So Rosa, if you'll help me, what time is closed session? It says 8:30. We're not going to make that, obviously. So was it 9 to 10 that the closed session was supposed to
Yeah, I
be?
think.
9 to 10.
Are we able to
Starting at
spend,
9.
are we able to spend 10 minutes with you in closed session tonight?
Yes, we have that for you.
Okay, okay.
I'm just trying to confirm the
Okay.
time. I think I read something else in the planning of the meeting. So is closed session from 9 to 10? We're not going to make that. So can we go 9 to 10? How much time do you need for just the next part of this? Do you need 45 minutes? And
Well,
then-
we wanted to, we're very sensitive to your time frame. So if you want to put the discussion of desired qualities and characteristics in district strengths and challenges off to a subsequent meeting,
No,
we
we
could,
are
or we,
here.
okay,
We have
all right.
spent money doing this. You're using every moment.
All right, well, that's great. Because we would love to do that
So,
too,
so how much time do you need? About 45 minutes?
at max, I think. What we're gonna ask you is each of you what you think we should be looking for, desired qualities and characteristics. And secondly, what you see as the strengths or the challenges that the district is facing. So those
Okay,
2
let's put
questions.
let's put a half hour on that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Yeah,
5.
5. Okay, so let's do 5 minutes and see how we go with that. And then we can go into closed session. Is everybody okay with that?
I
Okay,
do have a question. We have Rasa on here. Are we putting CTA on here before we leave this?
oh, yeah, well, sure. we can
Okay.
try.
And then, Trustee Espinoza Jr. brought up a very good point when we're looking at, do you mind if I?
Go ahead.
When we're looking at the schools, when we're inviting the schools, there are inner workings that happen at the school, which include the PTA that we have on here, but it also includes the SSC. It also includes the APAC that we have on here and the MDAC that we have, or the ELAC that we have on here. Do we have ELAC?
We do not.
So we need to put ELAC on here also. So in pressing upon our principals to make sure that they're reaching out to those particular people as well, that they have the input coming into not just their separate groups, but when they're coming into the sites and they have their site meetings, to have those people come as well, because their voice is not only imperative, but will also springboard other ideas. because they have a different understanding of navigating the school system because they're there every day or volunteering every other day. And when we're talking about that, also impress upon our principals, we need to hear from your office managers. We need to hear from your yard duty. We need to hear from our cafeteria workers. We need to hear from our custodial staff. So just making sure that the principals are well aware that when we're doing these site conversations, we want it to be robust. We want to make sure that your next superintendent has a understanding of everything that happens at a school site and not such a narrow focus. So I'm complete. Did that cover it?
Thank you.
And could,
All right,
could-
I'd
could
like
we
to-
add one more to the community group?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
For the community group, could we add one more? The Mindful Life Project? Mindful.
Mindful life.
Yeah, mindful life. Okay, seeing no more, let's put 5 minutes on the clock for each person who would like to address this.
So for each board member, we ask you two questions. What are you looking for in your next superintendent? And what do you see as the district's strengths and challenges? So each of you could address those two questions. And we'll take notes. And then we use this to help develop the position description, interview questions, and a few more things.
Rosa, let me know when you're ready. And who would like to start?
Can I go first?
Yes, go right ahead. And your
Okay.
time starts now.
So someone that for the superintendent, I'm looking for someone who is culturally competent, someone that knows working with the type of community we have here in West Contra Costa, collaborate leadership, and equity inclusion champion who is willing to, a strong commitment to education, equities. Some of the challenges that our district is currently facing is budget transparency and stability. The achievement gap, especially someone in our special education, improving the support for our students. Staff retention and recruitment is another one of our challenges as well. That's pretty much someone I'm looking for and some of the challenges we have, I believe. I yield my time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I could go next. For
Yeah.
me,
Hang on, we want to make sure you get your 5 minutes. Go ahead, go.
I
quick.
don't think it'll be 5. For me is the commitment to work, engaging, can demonstrate leadership skills, collaboration. It has to be they have to be innovative, inclusive, bilingual in whatever language. The more languages, the better. They have to know how to listen, not just hear. Experience working in a diverse community, that they have experience. Someone who would work towards full transparency and collaboration. Someone who will ensure systems are running and are effective so that they have the will to prioritize things. Someone who will make our students priorities, I think, based around decisions. Some of the strengths that I think that we have here in our district are partnerships with organizations, parents, and communities. So we have a real robust community, parents who are really active, who are vocal, organizations who are willing to come in and support, and a lot of good partnerships within the different cities. Um, we have great educators here. We have a lot of diversity, but we're also a resilient community. So I think those are some of our strengths. Trustee, I blocked off some of the things Trustee Hernandez already said, but I think one of our biggest weaknesses has been really communication. So I think somebody who knows how to communicate, someone who can direct communication and who can tailor it to the different communities that they're trying to reach is gonna be really essential, for our next superintendent. Um, and I think for me, that is it.
Great, thank you. You two have been very concise. I was expecting the full 5 minutes.
And I can
Okay.
send you this list if it went really, really fast.
Okay, down at this end, who would like to go? Go ahead.
Can I just get a quick remember? What was the first question? I remember the second question. Okay.
Desired qualities and characteristics of the next superintendent, and then district strengths and challenges.
Okay, well, I think one thing that would be very crucial in terms of given our current circumstances as a district would be crisis management. In terms of our strengths and weaknesses, how we can manage that, and in terms of managing the crisis, in terms of that, excuse me for repetition, it would include not only advocacy for our students and as well as our staff and our teachers, principals, but as well as transparency when communicating with these teachers and staff alongside our parents and students. One thing I think we are very strong on is our diversity as a district, as well as our opportunities. We have a very strong dual language immersion program as a district, given not only we serve Spanish, but as well as Chinese Mandarin, which makes us stand out very well within a very competitive and very strong Bay Area region. One thing I think I would say our weakness would be in terms of the students and teachers, it would be the staff ratio, our teacher vacancy alongside our student attendance rates and the enrollment. And because that creates a imbalance in other things such as our finances, as well as hiring teachers and giving them the benefits that they deserve. As well as, of course, our academic performance, how we can increase those percentages, whether it's 2%, 3%, how we can just keep them going forward for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and just keep going up. I think I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm gonna wait for the clock. Let's see. Yeah, I have a lot to say. I had to add it together. So I want everyone to be clear that diversity is just a number. We're a diverse district because we're a number. We have different numbers of ethnicities and religions, so we're diverse. I believe diversity is not enough when looking for a new superintendent. I believe equity is not enough. Equity is access. Does everyone have access to the curriculum? Does everyone have access to this? I believe inclusion is not enough. I want an anti-racist leader in this district as our superintendent. I believe that is where the majority of the board wants us to go. That's what our policy is saying. We have voted on that we're moving to an anti-racist district, so we have to have anti-racist leadership. I need someone who understands our district. Understanding our district is not just knowing the data of our district. Understanding our district is really understanding who we are and what we need, our needs as a district. I want someone who chooses us, looking at everything we are. If you've never attended a meeting in WCCUSD, don't apply. If you've never attended a board meeting or a CBO meeting or any of the meetings or a community meeting, do not apply because you are not ready for who we are. We are unique. We are unique. So again, I want someone to choose us. I want a proven turnaround leader, someone who can come in and said that they have a proven record of turning districts around, moving culture and climate, increasing student achievement, a proof of that. Whether they did that as a principal, whether they did that as a teacher, whether they did that as another superintendent, whatever it is, I want them to show proof. Finally, I want them to understand there is a difference between transparency and honesty. Transparency is if you tell me, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. Honesty is I'm gonna tell you before you ask me. I want an honest leader. I want someone who's gonna step out and tell the community, tell the teachers, tell the superintendent, or tell the cabinet, tell the board, this is what it's gonna be like before. This is honesty, not just transparency. Some of our strengths is this district is full of loyal people. There are generations after generations after generations of people who have been here from my mom went to here, now I go here, now my kids are going to this school. My mom was a teacher, now I'm a teacher. We have people who've been working in this district for 35 years, 40 years. They choose WCC USD. That is a strength. That is also one of our challenges because we are set in our ways. We need someone who is going to come and be able to shake it up. Because if we don't, we're going to get the same thing over and over again. I want someone who understands that you have to work for the choiceless. We have students in this district, they have no choice but to be in this district. You have to know that that is your focus. Work for the people who don't have a choice. This is it. And I want our superintendent to make that their focus, so they're going to make it better for those kids who do not have a choice. Because again, we are 5 cities. We have those who are very, very privileged. They can take their children X, Y, and Z. And we have those that this is it. So I want a superintendent that understands that and makes the district better for that. I want someone who understands school budgets. School budgets are the most complicated things. And if the superintendent is learning, that can tank us. I need a superintendent that comes in and understands what a school budget is and what they need to do to advise the board on how to make those hard decisions. I want someone who their yes is their yes and their no is their no. I want someone who can look at any group of people and say, no, and here's why. Yes, and here's why. I want someone who's able to make those hard decisions. I want someone who understands relationships and how to have relationships not only with the board, but with every member of the community, also students. I want someone who's visible. I want a superintendent to walk into a school and the school knows that that's the superintendent because the superintendent goes to the events. Superintendent visits the school. The superintendent talks to the students. The superintendent talks to the teachers. The superintendent is out there, not in their office. I want a superintendent that's able to help navigate the board. You are the expert that we hire, so I want you to be able to navigate the systems that are educational systems and help us make the best decisions. That means, again, being honest, not just transparent with the board. Finally, I want some of the challenges in the last 20 seconds. In this district, one of the biggest challenges is fear is our default. We're too scared, so we don't do it. We're too scared of getting grieved. We're too scared of being sued. We're too scared of doing this, so we don't do it. I need someone who's a fearless champion. Finally, one of the strengths that we have in the last 3 seconds, and we do have 5 unions that are very focused on our children's success. So you have to be able to work with them also. Jim and Sandy, you know I have more to say. Friend, you just met me, but I have a lot to say. I will send it in an email. I am complete.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so to finish up, you know, the strengths, this district is actually quite innovative. And they've done, you know, they've really very quietly been innovators for years. We were the first district that had student trustees. We have a public Mandarin school. You know, it's true. We have really loyal people that really, really care about kids, and it is a very diverse place. You know, there are really deep challenges around academic achievement, moving the needle, fiscal solvency, staff retention. You know, like many other school districts, we're in a precarious and delicate space. And what I've thought about over the last couple of days in preparation for this meeting is that I'm going to assume that the technical skills are there and you're going to find somebody has the technical skills. But what I'm really interested in is the soft skills. And, you know, I mean, this person has a vision for our district and our students and our people and can sell it and can deliver it. Genuine teamwork that comes from the ground up. Conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, can reform relationships that are going to move the work forward, and they're honest and trusting. Systems thinking, you know, really understanding you know, if you do this, this is what happens at the site level. So to really understand how decisions impact the entire system and really good feedback loops that are open, not closed feedback loops, but I've heard it. I understand what they want. I understand how it's going to improve the system. We're going to work on it. We're going to check back in with you. We're going to implement it. We're going to check back in with you. How's it doing? We're going to adjust it. We're like really, you know, using data and feedback to drive improvement. Demanding high quality work and can coalesce the board around issues or coalesce the boards around a vision or around decisions. Takes risks. And can really take a team and navigate through tough times. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Take a team and navigate through tough times.
Yeah, can navigate a team through tough times.
Got it.
It's very inspiring.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I forgot the walk on water part, but you know.
Yeah.
Inspiring and very passionate.
Okay, thank you. That's very, very helpful. We appreciate that. And particularly the different perspectives of the board members that have been there and the new board members coming on. That's a great combination. And I think you guys are really doing a good job of trying to work together on behalf of the students of the district. So we've tried to capture these as best we can. We'll have a meeting and go over these, try to finalize them and include the major points in the draft of the position description. Is now on the position description, Trustee Reckler, is it possible to have one or two of you to look at the draft of that before it goes to the full board, or how do
Yes.
you want to do? How do you want?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay. So I'll contact you about
Yeah,
that.
I actually thought that was something that I remember from last time that that could have been more concise, I think. I remember.
Yes, yes,
Right? Yeah,
yes,
yeah, okay. And if there was pre-work, that would have been a tighter document. Is that my recollection?
yes,
Okay, yes.
yeah. We remember the same things. Okay. Any questions on the process or procedures? And any comments from Sandy and Donald before we go into closed session? Anything we missed?
Just want to say that we greatly appreciate the thoughtfulness that you've put in to what you really want in a new leader, somebody who's going to meet the expectations that you have to ensure that every single child that is entrusted to you is going to be lifted up. It's an absolute pleasure to serve you.
Thank you. Can't believe you came back.
I'm
Okay.
the newbie and I am so excited about working with you.
Okay.
So, is there
Alright.
anything else, Jim, that we have on here that we need to go over that we haven't? I think we've captured everything,
I think so.
so we can go.
Yeah, so at this time, we're actually almost on time. We are
Yeah.
going to recess to close session and we expect to be back. It says 9:30, really, we need an hour, so let's say 9:40 and we will be back. Thank you.
We should just stay here online. We
Yeah.
go out.
No, we're going to do a Google Meet? Okay, you must have a Google Meet?
We have a separate Zoom link for
Yeah,
the,
okay. Give us a few minutes to get back into our safe and secure room.
I'm not sure I have that. Would somebody send me that to Zoom link, Sandy?
email that Rosa sent us with this Zoom
Oh.
link below it.
Oh, okay,
We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
okay.
Good evening. We're back. Okay, good evening. Oh, you want to get rid of that? Maybe me. Hello? Okay, we have a little echo, but we're going to work through it. We're up to item E, report ratification of closed session. For items related to D1, public employee appointments, position superintendent, I have nothing to report out. I'll now turn it over to Dr. Moses for items D2, conference with labor negotiators, D3, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint.
Thank you, President Reckler. There is no report out from closed session.
And with that, we are adjourning at 9:54. The next regularly scheduled school board meeting is Wednesday, January 29th at Dijon. Thank you, everybody. Good night, 9:54.